Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy.
Warning. I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
I'll teach your grandmother to suck eggs. Now, boys and girls, let's try it again.
I'm sure by now everyone's already heard about John K., the creator of Ren and Stimpy, but it's been a really busy weekend, so I want to thank V, the social injustice warrior, for joining up with me on this video and saving me a lot of time, so appreciate it, man. If you aren't already subscribed, go check him out, Social Injustice Warrior. Take it away, V.
Robyn Byrd thought her plan was working when the letter from her hero arrived in the mail. It was 1994 and the 13-year-old had sent the creator of Ren and Stimpy a video of herself talking about her drawings and the animation career she envisioned. She could hardly believe he'd responded. "I'd built up these characters and this mythos of Ren and Stimpy in my head," Byrd, now 37, told BuzzFeed News. "It was exciting. Soon," she said, she began receiving boxes of toys and art supplies from 39-year-old John K. He helped her get her first AOL account, through which he convinced her he could help her become a great artist. Yeah, nowadays we just call that grooming. "I thought I was still his little cute friend," she said. And then when she was still in 11th grade, he flew her to Los Angeles to show her his studio and talk about her future. She said on that same trip, in a room with a sliding glass door that led to his pool, he touched her genitals through her pajamas as she lay frozen on a blanket he'd placed on the floor. She was 16. In the summer of 1997, before her senior year of high school, he flew her to Los Angeles again, where Byrd had an internship at Spunko, John K's studio, and lived with him as his 16-year-old girlfriend and intern. The tiny dark-haired girl moved in with John K. prematurely at age 17. She told herself that John was helping to launch her career. In the end, she fled animation to get away from him. Although sexual abuse allegations against John have never been made public before, his relationship with Byrd has been an open secret within animation. So open that a girl he had been dating since she was 15 years old was referenced briefly in a book about the history of Ren and Stimpy. Say what? The male artist said stories of how John sexually harassed female artists, including teenage girls, were very known throughout the industry. Moreover, John made his fixation on teenage girls plainly obvious in his art, even as he worked on animation projects for the likes of Cartoon Network, Fox Kids, and Adult Swim. In an interview with Howard Stern in the mid-90s, the radio show host asked him about a character in the comic book anthology the cartoonist was then promoting. Stern called Sody Pop a hot chick with big cans and nice legs. John responded with a smile, "She's underage, too."
I want to congratulate John K. on his new cartoon. I think that there's some new excitement in the industry.
I guess the industry is moving ahead. Forget the Billy fiasco.
Look for comic book. This is the characters. You can see them here. One of them's a hot chick with big cans and nice legs. Who drew that? You?
She's underage, too.
Yeah, very nice.
Oh,
yeah.
On John K's behalf, an attorney responded to a detailed list of allegations in the story with the following statement. The 1990s were a time of mental and emotional fragility for Mr. K, especially after losing Ren and Stimpy, his most prized possession. For a brief time, 25 years ago, he had a 16-year-old girlfriend. Over the years, John struggled with what were eventually diagnosed mental illnesses in 2008. To that point, for nearly 3 decades, he had relied primarily on alcohol to self-medicate. Since that time, he's worked feverishly on his mental health issues and has been successful in stabilizing his life over the past decade. This achievement has allowed John the opportunity to grow and mature in ways he never had a chance at before. In 2008, long after she saw John K., Byrd reconnected with an old internet friend, the artist Katie Rice. John K. introduced them through AOL in the mid-90s when they were still children, telling them he'd hire both of them at Spunko someday. Although John never had a physical sexual relationship with Rice, he began hitting on her when she was a minor. She said behavior ranged from writing her flirty letters to masturbating while she was on the phone. You know, that was a thing in the late 90s to early 2000s. I'm really glad that as a society, we've gone past phone sex. No one does that anymore. Now we just send unsolicited dick pics.
Whoa, you asked me for those. That wasn't unsolicited.
On October 19th, 2004, when Rice was working at Disney, a 49-year-old John contacted Rice via her work email. He wrote that he'd been resentful as a 41-year-old man of the classmate Rice liked when she was 15. You used to make me very jealous, and you would never admit that you liked me in a romantic way. At the end of the email, he begged her to be in a relationship with him. Rice said the sexual harassment got worse when she worked for John K's home office, particularly when she was working on a music video commissioned by Weird Al Yankovic. Rice told Byrd in 2008 that John was doing all sorts of bizarre stuff, waiting naked in his living room for when I let myself into the house to work in the morning, walking around with his wiener hanging out of his pants, telling me, somebody used wiener for penis. I didn't think people actually talked like that. Telling me that his friend's advice to get me was to just rape me one day. Whoa! Through an attorney, John denied exposing himself to Rice and said the rape comment was just a joke. I was only kidding. I was like joking about potentially raping you. Come on. It's a joke.
Most cartoons like to toe the line of censorship, but Ren and Stimpy straight up walks up to it and jizzes on its tits.
I think I'm in love.
In the first episode of the new season of Ren and Stimpy, we learn that the Hoeks are now living inside the nostril of a passed out drunk dude. Ren is complaining that he hasn't had a good night's sleep in a long time. When he tries to go to sleep, a weird, drippy, hanging thing inside the guy's nose starts forcefully tonguing Ren's butthole. Apparently, our little Chihuahua pal isn't too keen on a good old-fashioned salad tossin', and he wakes up Stimpy in a rage. He forces Stimpy to repeat their #1 rule, which is written all over the blackboard in chalk. Listening to your favorite childhood cartoon character screaming, "You're the pitcher, I'm the catcher," over and over again isn't even the most disturbing scene in this episode. At the end of the show, Ren pops out from behind a changing screen dressed like an actual pitcher and proceeds to throw his dick into Stimpy's asshole like a major league player at the World Series. In an act of selfishness, bisexual Ren takes Stimpy on a date to the beach so that he can ogle a bunch of big titty blondes. When one of the girls runs by with her beach ball, Ren jizzes in his pants. Stimpy, of course, gets jealous when he sees his lover checking out the butt cheeks of another, so he runs to a nearby beach stand to buy himself a G-string. But instead of being aroused by his partner's thong, Ren gets angry at Stimpy and flings him right onto the beach ball blonde's boobs. Shortly after, Ren and Stimpy pose as bathroom attendants in the ladies' room, where Ren uses his boner as a towel rack so that the girls will give him a quick, low-key handy. Then, he sneaks into the showers and helps all dem babes lather up. Stimpy attaches a nozzle to his penis and ejaculates shampoo onto one of the girls' heads. Of course, while all this is happening, the girls are talking in bimbo voices and making cool porn noises.
Pointing at his crotch.
Nice job, John.
Yeah. Give the girls a nice shot of that.
Yeah. All right, well,
One of my hot chick characters, Sody Pop.
oh yeah.
It's something they never let me do on TV. They'd never let me animate hot chicks. And I love to draw hot chicks.
Yeah.
Disney used to do cute girls in cartoons. Warner's did it. Everybody loves it. Tex
Hey,
Avery did
Ariel's
it.
like naked. She's only wearing a bra.
Who is?
Ariel from Little Mermaid.
Oh, right, yeah.
Only wearing a bra.
Yeah, a lot of kids got their first boner with that, I think.
Yeah, well, she...
As Byrd grew up in the studio, her co-workers, many of whom were not much older than she was, were aware of the teen's romantic relationship with their boss. Moore got an internship at Spumco in '97 around the age of 24, and when he first started seeing Byrd around the studio, I was like, "Who's that little girl?" he said. The relationship was odd, but it seemed to be accepted at the studio, where former employees say Crickfalusi fostered a libertine atmosphere in which taking offense was itself offensive. They were making shows with sexual themes. There were raunchy new drawings on display. Moore said John left out a drawing he made of Byrd naked with the dog ejaculating on her. Sometime between '98 and 2000, Moore went to a party at John's house that bothered him for years. He remembered Byrd, who was no older than 20, was drunk and seemed to be drifting in and out of consciousness. When John called Moore over to him and pulled out these Polaroids of Robyn, basically going down on him. He's like, "What do you think of that?" Byrd doesn't remember Crickfalusi taking explicit photos of her. She also wasn't aware, she said, that he showed explicit photos of her to other people. But Wyatt recounted an interaction with his then boss that was similar to Maura's. He said that at a party at Kricfalusi's house between 1999 and 2002, Kricfalusi showed him a stack of Polaroids of Kricfalusi and Byrd having sex. He never mentioned the photographs to Byrd, nor did he confront Kricfalusi about the interaction. During another party at Kricfalusi's house, Swar said the artist pulled out a binder of photos that showed Byrd negging in his pool. It was gross, Swar said, affecting a gruff voice when he spoke. As Kricfalusi, Swar recalled, he was like, "Oh, you like that?" I was like, "No." The article also named Rice, who said he never touched her, but hit on her explicitly when she was underage. At one point, she claimed he masturbated on the phone with her way before she was 18. They never had physical sexual contact, but when Rice lived in Nevada, she remembers several late-night phone calls during which Kricfalusi said, "Repeat after me, John's dick slides in my pussy," his pronunciation of the word, while he masturbated on the other end of the line. She refused. Rice, who was naive about sex, said she didn't realize what he was doing at first, until all of a sudden, she did. She left Spunko years later following a pattern of sexual harassment. Additionally, she claimed she discovered child pornography on his computer. She remembered one photo in particular, with a naked girl who appeared to be around 10 years old, lying on her back with her legs spread and an expression on her face that Rice described as fearful. An ex-girlfriend of John's, who asked not to be named in the story, said she, too, saw negative images of prepubescent girls who appeared to be between the ages of 12 and 14 on his personal computer around 2007. Rice went to report the child porn she saw on John's computer. On 2 occasions, she said she panicked while filling out an online form for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Rice successfully reported seeing child porn to the police at the end of 2017. Byrd said she spoke to the detective on the case as well. Even though the statute of limitations for her allegations was up, her account might holster an investigation. The LAPD would not comment on the case, but Rice was told they wouldn't be able to get a warrant. It was after receiving that phone call from the police that she decided to go on record.
Hey, this is Katie Rice. She is one of the young artists I was telling you about who sought me out because she grew up watching Ren and Stimpy, right? Mm-hmm. Katie is the princess of sexy girl artists. All through the 80s, when I was working at Hanna-Barbera and Filmation and all these studios, I always wanted to draw sexy girls into the cartoons. But since the networks were all run by dykes...
Oh shit, did he just say that?
They wouldn't let you because they thought it was offensive to women to draw girls cute, like Katie here. Katie showed me one time, she drew, I was at her 15th birthday party. We'll tell you that backstory a little bit later. And she showed me her sketchbook, and one of the drawings in it was a copy of a drawing I did of my character, Sody Pop. You still have that drawing?
Yes, it's not very good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Ren and Stimpy decide to be good Samaritans and help out a super hot lady with big boobs out of the kindness of their hearts. They promise to help her get some money after being evicted from her house, and decide to break into a mansion with a guard duck to get the job done. In order to distract the duck, Stimpy dresses up like a sexy lady duck to seduce him. He puts nipple tassels on his chin to look like a rack, and that's all the motivation the duck needs to strap on a condom and get busy behind the woodshed. Stimpy and the duck start playing around at tonsil hockey and getting they fuck on.
Told you I like this chick.
When the duck sucks on Stimpy's faux nips, he gives birth to horrifying hybrid babies. Ren smacks the duck over the head, knocking him unconscious. Because all good sex should end with a severe concussion, right?
He's at the Silent Theater doing a screening of cartoons that influenced him.
Yeah, what were some cartoons?
You got your Popeye,
Yeah.
Betty Boop,
Yeah.
Mighty Mouse, Coal Black and the 7 Dwarves.
Not familiar with that.
It's a 40s Warner Brothers cartoon. It's Snow White, but with all black character.
My hair's coal black, but my name's so white. I wash it all day.
And it's full like 40s, big lips, jet black skin. The Prince Charming is a pimp with gold teeth, and his two front teeth are dice.
Thanks, horribly racist animators. Apparently you gave us Ren and Stimpy.
Thank you so much, right?
Thanks.
What a fucking asshole this guy is.
When the hot homeless lady's nipples start popping out of her top, Ren and Stimpy know they need to build her a shelter. Armed with tons of wood and a handsaw, they get straight to work. Ren straps on a saw and Stimpy positions a log of wood right on his butt. And then butt sex. Ren thrusts into Stimpy repeatedly and asks him to beg for it.
It's literally Ren and Stimpy having sex. There's no explanation as to why they are cutting wood that way. That is not how you saw wood. Unless, you know, you're sawing wood. This couldn't have fooled anyone.
When Ren finishes, his saw goes limp, leaving a large pile of wood shavings on Stimpy's tramp stamp. In case you're confused, those wood shavings are supposed to be a big puddle of splooge.
Fucking stoned.